You mentioned the Saints. Let's talk about the Saints and the Rams. Saints traveling across the country to go to LA to take on the Rams. 34-10. Rams ended up winning this game. Not really close. Let's take a look at the top 5 players that the Rams had. Wide receiver Puka Nacua, who went out in this game with a chest injury. I actually did not see afterwards what they said about it.
McVay said he could have went back in and they were being cautious. They had a lead. Which seems to
Makes
be
sense.
an every other week thing with Nacua for as physical a style as he plays, and that happened on a jet sweep. But he says he should be relatively fine going forward.
So he's at the top of the list with a 91.6. Tight end Davis Allen right behind him, an 85.4. Tight end Terrence Ferguson, an 85.2. Safety Cam Kinchins with an 81.9. Then wide receiver Devontae Adams.
Devontae Parker making a comeback? Man.
Cover the draft long enough, man. All these names just flow together. 81.1 overall grade from Devontae Adams there for the Los Angeles Rams. Matthew Stafford, another great game from him, an 85.0. On the Saints side of things, safety Justin Reed is 76.5. Wide receiver Rashid Shaheed, speaking of guys who might be on the move from the trade deadline, 75.2. And then wide receiver Chris Olave right behind him is 73.1. Offensive tackle Kelvin Banks Jr. at number 4 with a 73.0. Then center Luke Fortner with a 72.7. Tyler Shuck in this game, his first full start, a 69.0. Dalton told the story.
Look, this game, we'll be honest about it, Trevor, this game wasn't fair. It just wasn't. This was a Rams team at home playing a obviously very vulnerable Saints team. And Tyler Shuck making his first start, honestly, didn't even really get a chance to be on the field at all because the Rams had the ball for almost 44 minutes. Just
crazy.
A dominant effort, especially offensively. 89.9 offensive grade as a team for the Rams. 30 first downs in this game, 11 explosive plays. Stafford was outstanding. Nacua was outstanding. Devontae Adams with another red zone touchdown. Kyron Williams, Blake Corum, the offensive line. I mean, just a definitive stomping. I mean, and when Stafford is protected enough, and the way that Sean McVay's been calling plays, obviously every year, but this year especially, to me, working around suspect pass protection still. This game, that's the best way I can put it. This game wasn't fair, and my most impressive guy. And look, we talked about one NFC West quarterback and Sam Darnold being an MVP candidate. Mm-hmm. The guy standing right next to him in that race, I think, is Matthew Stafford. Just unbelievable again in this game. 24-32, 4 touchdowns, 2 more big-time throws. He's just in total control right now. And all we made the joke last week about it, but what back injury? Doesn't look like it to me. The way he's throwing the ball and the way he's seeing the field, especially. I mean, he's one of these just older quarterbacks that you have that at this point is a savant at that position. He sees everything. He sees every rotation, every blitz, every guy coming or not going or whatever. I mean, it's just unbelievable season Matthew Stafford's having. You could argue the best that we've ever seen him at 37 years old. I think he's right next to Darnold in that MVP race. It could come down to those two in those 2 games head-to-head.
Yeah. This game, I think that you put it, unfortunately, correctly. It was never going to be a good game. It just was not going to be. And the Saints offense, 40 total plays in this game. What did the Raiders run the other week? 33?
They ran 30.
Okay,
40 is usually the bottom end of what you see, like 38 to 40.
Yeah,
30's a whole different outlier, but 40 is pretty bad.
So the Saints run 40 total plays in this game. They had a time of possession of 16 minutes and 7 seconds. That's, like you said, you can't even do anything on offense when that's the case.
They named Tyler Shuck the starter, and he was on the bench anyway. Jeez.
I see what you did there.
You like that?
There were only 12. Shout out the Saints Wire for this. I was reading the Saints Wire earlier while sort of gathering some information for the show. There have only been 12 games in the NFL with a shorter time of possession. The lowest was September 12th, 1999, when the Cleveland Browns possessed the ball for just 12 minutes and 11 seconds against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that's the lowest ever.
Yeah.
And then 12th lowest ever, or 13th lowest ever, was what we just saw from the New Orleans Saints. You're just never going to win the game when that's the case. And you can't even really judge Tyler Shuck either. Like, I'm just kind of waiting to really put him under the microscope at all because, like you said, they were never going to be close in this game. My most impressive was Byron Young. I know a lot of people talk about Jared Verse on one side of the defensive line for the Los Angeles Rams, and Verse is great. He's a presence. You got to pay attention to him at all times. But Byron Young, he's not the bendiest edge rusher in the world, but man, that speed to power and even just the pound-for-pound strength that this guy has. He had an above 70 pass rush grade and run defense grade in this one. Had some really nice reps as a pass rusher where he was attacking the outside shoulder. He is getting that dip and rip move down pretty well, and it's becoming pretty second nature to him. So anytime that he gets off the line of scrimmage with a really good jump and he gets even with the outside shoulder of the offensive tackle, you will see him dip down and you will see him rip that arm up to just try to stay clean and get into the backfield, use his other hand to affect the quarterback, to force a fumble, to start a sack, whatever that is. So I think Byron Young, a lot of offensive lines are paying attention to Jared Verse, and they should. But we have seen time and time again that when you dedicate resources or slide protection or whatever it is to Jared Verse's side, if Byron Young's one-on-one, he can make you pay too. And I think this was another game where he had some one-on-one opportunities, and he made the New Orleans Saints offensive line pay.
Byron Young and Jared Verse are number 11 and 12 among qualified edge defenders in pass rush grade right now. You got two of the top 12 sitting there on top of everybody else you have to deal with. Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Poona Ford, Josiah.
Safeties are playing well.
Josiah Stewart rotates in there. I mean, they have so many guys on that defensive line. The linebackers have been good. Cam Kinchins, you mentioned. Right. They're traded for more cornerback help. I mean, this Rams defense really does have everything, but it starts with, once again, we say it all the time, just an outstanding defensive line. The emergence of Byron Young, though, you're right, has made them even more dangerous than ever.
Most disappointing, Saints corners just could not contain Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. Very few can, but it was just not a great day from Alontae Taylor or Kool-Aid McKinstry. I believe both of them had below 45.0 coverage grades on the day, and so I think that's just most disappointing because the Saints want to play aggressive in coverage. They draft these guys. They have faith in these guys to at least hold their own a little bit better than what they were able to do against the Rams.
Yeah, it just seems like their defense in general doesn't travel well. And really, we've talked about this with this Saints team. Seems like Brandon Staley's unit, they play a lot better at home. We've seen them play solid games and keep them in games, especially at home. But when they go on the road, 44 they gave up at Seattle, 31 in Buffalo, 26 to the Bears in kind of an uglier game, and then 34. It just doesn't seem to travel as well with these young players.